oath.
I, Moses Alutalala Mukhwana, do swear that the information you shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much, and sorry for that. Just sign your oath. Thank you very much, Moses Alutalala Mukhwana. We notice that you're selecting to proceed in Kiswahili, which is allowed, absolutely. Some of us will ask you questions in English, others will do so in Kiswahili, but you're allowed to speak the language, any of the two languages. So you may proceed. Unaweza kuendelea.
Shukran kaka mwenyekiti na mkubwa wangu kisheria, kiwakili, kwa mwaliko wa leo. Nawashukuru waheshimiwa wote kwa nafasi hii. Najua tulikuwa wengi walioomba, na kwa kupewa hii nafasi lazima nitangulize shukran. Jina langu nalojulikana sana katika umma wa nchi hii ni Alutalala wa Mukhwana, lakini mamangu kanibatiza kupitia dini ya Kianglikana, akaniongeza Moses. Sasa ikabidi niwe na majina matatu, Moses Alutalala Mukhwana. Nimezaliwa miaka 57 katika kijiji kidogo kinaitwa Ituti. Ituti iko katika kata ndogo ya Butere, kata kubwa, jimbo kubwa la Kakamega. Shule yangu ya msingi nimesomea Ituti Primary School tangia darasa la kwanza. Wakati huo kaka mwenyekiti, hatukuwa na shule za chekechea, hivyo mimi nikaenda darasa la kwanza mara hiyo na nikang'ang'ana mpaka mwaka 1980 nilipofanya mtihani wangu wa kidato wa darasa la 7, zamani hizo ukiitwa CPE. Baadaye kwa sababu ya matatizo kule nyumbani, babangu kaniita hapa Kibra, zamani akifanya kazi ya udereva. Mimi nikaja nikaishi naye katika mtaa mdogo unaitwa Makina pale Kibra, katika kitongoji pale. Mwenyewe alikuwa anaitwa Mzee Mahmudi Gal, namkumbuka mpaka wa leo. Kasoma kidato cha kwanza, cha pili shule iliyoitwa RGS Secondary School. Haipo tena, ni zile shule zilikuwa za tabu, bora umesoma, zilikuwa kwenye gorofa pale. Wale wa zamani hapo mnakumbuka pale Grogon kuna sinema ilikuwa inaitwa ABC Cinema pale chini. Sasa kando pale kwenye gorofa kulikuwa na shule ilikuwa inaitwa RGS Secondary School, Ramgaria Sikh Secondary School. Ni shule ya Wahindi kwa pale. Haipo siku hizi, maana zilikuwa ni shule za tabu tu kakangu. Baadaye nikapita mtihani wa kidato cha 4. Nikapita, lakini sikupata fursa ya kwenda shule nzuri, japo nilipita na kiwango cha division 2. Zamani hapo ulikuwa umepita. Basi babangu akahangaika, akanipeleka shule moja kule jimbo la Kiambu, inaitwa Muguga High School. Mwenyewe zamani anaitwa Kansela Njoroge, marehemu sasa. Kidato cha 5, kidato cha 6 nikapata alama ambazo hazingeniwezesha kuingia chuo kikuu mara moja, maana zamani tulikuwa tunaitwa principals. So nilipata 2 principals and 1 subsidiary. Zamani hizo ulikuwa unatakana upate 3 principals. Ikawa sasa lazima nitafute ni vipi nitaweza kujikimu, na si kujikimu tu kakangu, ni kukimu mamangu, wazazi wangu, maana kama nilivyosema hali yao ilikuwa si hali. Nikawa ni mwalimu katika shule moja inaitwa Oshol Academy, mwalimu asiyefuzu, zamani akiitwa UT, mwalimu asiyefuzu. Nikang'ang'ana, nikafunza miaka 2-3, lakini nikajaribu nikapata kuingia katika chuo cha ufunzo wa walimu kule Nyeri, inaitwa Kagumo TTC. Mkubwa wa chuo hiko zamani akiitwa Reverend Paul Kagume, marehemu leo. Nilipomaliza nikatumwa kule Kisii, shule moja yaitwa Mokomoni SDA kule Bomachoge. Huko ndiko nilifanya kazi mwaka mmoja, lakini Mola akanijalia.
That is not in Nyamira. Mokomoni in Nyamira, so don't look at me. That one is in Kisii County.
Nikamaliza mwaka mmoja tu na nikafaulu kuitwa tena Oshol Academy, maana mara ya mwanzo wakubwa wangu walikuwa wamefurahia kazi yangu japo nilikuwa sijafuzu, wakaniita tena. Sasa nikawa mimi ni mwenye kuwa nimefuzu, nikafunza somo la historia, somo la lugha na michezo. Na pia nikajaliwa nikawa ni mkuu wa kitengo cha nidhamu, head of discipline. Nimefanya huko kazi zaidi ya miaka 10, karibu miaka 10 kama sijakosea. Lakini mheshimiwa, nilikuwa na wasiwasi, maana nilikuwa naona wenzangu ambao wako na shahada wanapata mshahara mkubwa, mimi ambaye nilikuwa na diploma tu nilikuwa napata mshahara mdogo. Na isitoshe nikaona nikiendelea hivyo sitoweza kuwakimu mwanangu. Mwishowe nikajiandikisha katika chuo kikuu cha Nairobi pale Parklands. Nikaanza kuwa ni mwenye kusoma. Mimi ndiye nilikuwa mwanzo, ile ilikuwa inaitwa self sponsored students 1999. Nikajiunga sasa kusomea kazi ya wanasheria. Nalipia wanangu karo mchana, najilipia mwenyewe, na usiku naenda kusoma. Kwa sababu ya matatizo haya kanichukua muda mrefu, lakini Mungu ni mkubwa, nikamaliza, nikawa nimefuzu, nikaenda Kenya School of Law, nikapata diploma, postgraduate diploma, na nikawa ni mwenye sasa kuwa wakili kamili. Kwa hivyo miaka yangu mingi nimefunza. Baada ya hapo nikajiunga na chuo kikuu cha Uswizi, nikawa nafanya masters katika business administration, nikajaliwa nikafanya doctorate katika global business management, na ikawa sasa nafunza kama mhadhiri wa sheria. Lakini pendo langu kubwa na wakili. Kwa hivyo kazi ninayofanya leo na kazi ya wakili, na ndio maana mara nyingi tumekutana mahakamani tukilumbana kisheria. Naomba nifikie hapo kaka mwenyekiti.
Very good. Thank you so much. I think that is elaborate in the Swahili. We will now open the floor, and unfortunately we have to ask you questions in English, and a few of us are going to ask, not all of us, because the questions may be cross-cutting. But 2 questions from me. Number 1, what experience do you have in the field of electoral processes which makes you suitable to sit as a commissioner of Iebc? What is it that you would point out to be outstanding to make you qualify for that position? Number 2, there are mamas out there that in fact you've been an outstanding lawyer for the party known as ANC. I think it doesn't exist anymore. They folded up and joined merged with another party, and now you are a new entity. And having been such an outstanding advocate for that party, you've now been sent to gatekeep for the party in the Iebc for them so that nothing goes wrong. what is your response to that concern from citizens that you are going to be a gatekeeper for your party because you are an advocate for that party for a long time? Thank you. Honorable Vice Chair. Honorable Mogaka.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, and must declare that the advocate is known to me, but I will not be conflicted in any manner. One clarification first. In the oral presentation, the nominee says he studied law between 1999 and 2003. But the submitted records show 1998 to 2003. For Hansard, may he confirm which is correct. Number two, in his call of duty, he appears to have been a member of a presidential task force of some form. Which presidency was that, Chair? And concomitant with that, he declares that he is a member of UDA party. And my question is, if UDA party were to contest or present a candidate in the 2027 election and UDA won, does the nominee think that Kenyans will accept those results and not deem him to be a player as well as a referee at the same time? And then very finally, and this is off record, why is he working to be in the commission and not on the ballot? Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good one to be. The next person is Honorable Makali.
Thank you.
Honorable Makali.
Oh, Honorable Makali.
Okay, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Dr. Lutala, I think I want to presume you are one of the serious commentators on issues governance on TV. One of the critical issues that conflict first elections in Kenya is trust deficit in the commission, the people who are conducting the elections. If we get you appointed, what are you going to do to ensure that there is trust in the commission so that the elections in Kenya can be fair, accurate, verifiable, and credible? Two, as a lawyer, one of the key things the commission is supposed to do is to do delimitation of boundaries, which is the elephant in the room. Right now, we are past the period for doing delimitation of boundaries. Some of the bigger constituents like mine, people are campaigning and saying boundaries are going to be limited. What are you going to do once you get this particular commission to ensure that boundaries are delimited? Thank you.
Very much, Honorable Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. Dr. Alutalala.
Thank you, sir.
One of the biggest issues that has been coming from the past management of our elections has been the issue of ethical behavior of staff and commissioners, in the sense that some are biased, and as well that in the overall procurement and administration there has been perceptions of corruption, such that electoral budgets are inflated because of corruption. So I would want you, number one, having had represented the party called ANC and its party leader, if the party leader of ANC was to be a presidential candidate, how will you behave? Number two, what are you going to do in terms of sealing corruption loopholes at IEBC.
Right. Thank you so much. Moses, Honorable Tienda Molo, ask only one question, please.
Yes, I'd like the Secretariat to give you a copy of the Constitution. Give him a copy of the Constitution.
No, what, just repeat it, sir.
There is documented, there are in fact active cases of corruption at IEBC formally.
Yes.
So if this committee approves you and Parliament approves you and finally you are appointed to be a commissioner of IEBC, what practical steps will you take, measures to seal corruption loopholes at IEBC?
Thank you. Yes, Senior.
Honorable Tienda Molo, please, the final one.
Muhona, I'd like you to look at Article 166. If you just open it, 166. Actually, no, 163. Sorry, 166.3. It appears to me from your documents that you finished at the Kenya School of Law in 2013. And from your documents, you say you've been a member of the Law Society from 2014. You have not included your certificate of admission. I suppose then it means you admitted in 2014. That then means you're an advocate of 11 years standing. Under Article 166.3, you require at least 15 years experience, either as a distinguished academic, judicial officer, legal practitioner, or such experience in other relevant legal field. I'd like you to persuade us, or at least persuade me, on how you meet those qualifications of 15 years under Article 166.3b. Thank you.
Look at the sections, all of us, the articles together, so that we don't also. I think let's start with with 88, so that he's able to answer and we don't. 88 states as follows. For the a person is not eligible for appointment as a member of the commission if the person has at any time in the preceding 5 years held office or stood for election as a member of parliament or a member of county assembly or a member of governing body or holds any state office. A member of the commission shall not hold office, public office. No, a member of the commission shall not hold any other public office. Where is the qualification?
Chair, actually on that issue also, on the question you had raised, Chair, I think that the rider to that is on 88.2A, Roman 2, because you say that you are legal advisor to ANC. I think as you are responding, also just indicate that you are not a member of the governing body.
I want to call. Where do I find qualification for members? Constitutional.
Yes.
The act. Where is the act? Let's read the act.
Composition. This for chairperson, right?
No, members, please. Qualification for appointment as chairperson or member of the commission. The chairperson of the commission shall be a person who is qualified to hold the office of a judge of the Supreme Court under the Constitution. A person is qualified for appointment as a member of the commission if such a person holds a degree from a recognized, has proven knowledge in the following matters that are set out over there.
At least 10 years.
Where is that? Where is it? At least 10 years?
Where is it then, yes?
Has proven knowledge and at least 10 years experience in any of the following fields. Among the many of them is number 6, which is law, 10 years. All right, I think that one we've tried to sort it out. Okay, very quickly, go through the other questions one by one, precise, concise, and brief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Sir, the first question which came from the Honorable Chair of this committee is, what experience do I have in election processes, which then would make me disposed to assuming the position of the member of this commission? Number one, I'm a proven educator. An Iebc requires not only those who have been there and worked there, but requires people who can learn on their feet, educate the Kenyans, and be able to get the numbers of our young people out there to vote. I'm a consummate educator, rose on my knees, but thank God I'm here. So I bring education. Number two, communication. If you read the Carter Center report of 2017, exit report of 2017 election, part of the tensions that were witnessed in the country were blamed on the fact that the IEBC announced results before completion of the entire process without communicating to the public that it was okay to do so under the law, but most importantly, that once those remaining results come, they'll be made public. So I bring my ability and capacity to communicate. Honorable Chair, one great business guru said, if you do anything without marketing it, you are like a guy who is winking at a very beautiful lady, but in pitch darkness, she will never know you winked and you'll never find a headway. So IBC must develop marketing strategies to market the commission, and that I have. Thank you.
Next question.
The next question again was from the chair, Honorable Chair. Thanks for the good remarks that have been an outstanding advocate for the ANC party, and therefore there are insinuations that have been brought here to get keep. And I'll tie that with what my learned senior has alluded to, whether my presence in ANC has anything that would bar me from this position. Far from it. I was the lawyer for ANC in my capacity as a professional lawyer and a consultant. I still appear for ANC until when it wound up the other day. I was placed in charge of the winding up process because I am the consultant to the party. I'm not a member of the organ of ANC party, which in any event, it is now defunct and it's not an issue at the moment. I thank you. Honorable Chair, even animals in the jungle will tell you that one time they had an interaction with this other animal and this other animal. It is unusual that you'll have a nominee here who has never met anyone in the political field, never known anyone, and therefore he has just fallen from Mars. My association with the ANC party has been part of my mentorship as a lawyer. They gave me an opportunity to practice law as their consultant, and that is what I did. I do not think that it would be very fair for that to be used against me, because again, Chair, I've learned that even those who say you not do a good job, when they come this side, others will say the same thing. So many times it is not a very fair perception, but we are humans. We must take them in stride. That is in answer to the questions from the Honorable Chair. The Honorable Mogaka.
Governing. You are a member of the governing party.
I've already responded and said I was an ANC lawyer. I practice as a lawyer. That's how I earn my living. And for ANC, I have been the lawyer for the party in my professional capacity. I have not been an occupant in any political organ or governing organ of the party. The Honorable Mogaka, the Honorable Member from Nyamira, thank you for the very kind words. you say that the dates I've indicated as a university are conflicting. That has been my story. Even when I joined the University of Nairobi, actually I enrolled in 1999, but I could not even get going until those dates that are indicated on that particular one. And for your information, if you look at my certificates, the transcript, they came way later. Because whereas those who were lucky to have the money and pay, they graduated way earlier than me. I graduated way later. So there is no material conflict. It's just the story of my troubled childhood and upbringing. But it's a journey I'm proud to say I went through. Presidential Task Force. The Presidential Task Force that I have been a member is the one that deals with the presidential task force for addressing human resources for health. You know, there's been a big problem in the medical, with our hospitals, in the Ministry of Health. So I got the favor of His Excellency the President of the Republic to be a member of the Presidential Task Force. And that which has since been injuncted by Parliament and is not moving. Actually, it has been stopped, although there is an appeal. So yes, I was appointed, but as we speak, nothing's happening because there is a court ruling against it. A member of UDA...
Chair, may I interject on that presidential...
yes, Honorable Mogaka.
I just wanted clarity whether the president that appointed him to that task force is Dr. William Ruto. And therefore, in the event Dr. William Ruto is a candidate in a presidential or any other election, will he be conflicted, or will Kenyans trust is referring from Iebc? Because that is the material thing. Thank you.
Very good. Confirm to that.
The president...
When it was?
The president saw something useful that I could add to the nation. I don't think he chose me so that if he stands for election...
Which president? Uhuru Kenyatta?
His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the current President of the Republic, saw something useful in my capacity and appointed me to be a member of that presidential task force. I do not think that where he sits, with profound respect, he expects that if I get this job, I will not work in accord with the dictates of the Constitution and the law just because he gave me a job. From where I sit, I've done a good job there, I'll do a good job there. If I had done a bad job at the ANC party, as they've mentioned, I'm sure not have landed at the task force, because people always get these referrals. Even Jesus Christ in the Bible asked his disciples for feedback, and he asked, who the people say I am? So without a good feedback, nobody will touch you. But the fact that someone has touched you, he has been graceful to give you a job, does not mean that now when you get this other job, you will therefore not do the job correctly because you benefited from his favor. That is stretching generosity a bit too far.
May I kindly go to the next questions?
The Honorable Mogaka had said, what if UDA fields a presidential candidate and then wins? Will Kenyans believe the result just because I have benefited from His Excellency the President's appointment? First of all, belonging to a party and exercising political rights is a constitutional right under Article 38. So whoever comes here then has exercised that right. You either belong to Jubilee Party, you belong to ODM, you belong to UDA, or any other party. But the important thing is that now, if God gives these honorable members the grace to recommend that I get the job, what is my standing as far as the political party is concerned, and how does that impact my performance as a commissioner? That is the question we're talking about. And from where I sit, I'll do the work because that is why I will have been given that work. Honorable Mogaka, you say why join the commission, not politics, not the ballot. I'm not sure where that came from. I didn't see it coming. Mwenyezi Mungu ni Mwenyezi Mungu wa majira, na maisha binadamu huenda kwa majira yake. Majira ya sasa ni kwamba naomba kazi. Nikijaliwa nipewe hii ndio nitashukuru. Kama Mwenyezi Mungu atanipa ruhusa wakati mwingine kwamba niingie sasa hilo ni lake Mola si langu. Lakini asante kwa maono mazuri.
Yeah, he's just perceived. He's listened to you, examined you, and eventually he's concluded possibly should be running for an elective position and not going for IEBC commission. That's where he wanted you to confirm really where do you fit best.
For now, I'm looking for this job, and I request your favor. The Honorable Makali, my senior brother in legal practice from Kandui, Muskoma Primary School, you said there is a trust deficit. Kwamba wa Kenya hawaamini IEBC. Si kwamba Kenya hayaamini IEBC, ni kwamba wa Kenya hawaaminiani wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Zamani babangu walikuwa wananionya, zamani walikuwa naambiwa chungeni wanyama wa mwitu mkitembea barabarani, watawakula. Siku hizi ananiambia kwamba babangu Java ni yungali hai Lamin, anasema kwamba siku hizi ogopa binadamu mwenzako, na nitaongezea ogopa Mkenya mwenzako. Kwa hivyo shida si IEBC. We must address the bigger problem. But for the interest of time, allow me, the Honorable Chair, sir, just to give what I think would be a first step in addressing this problem. The biggest problem in our election patterns has been that there is this perception that the bigger ethnic communities will gang up and they'll have it all. And why is it that those who are more in numbers indeed have done that? It is because the electoral system we have allows it. What is our electoral system? It is a majoritarian system, as opposed to the proportional representation system. A majoritarian system simply says, kwa Swahili tutasema wengi wape, usipowapa watachukua kwa wingi wa mikono yao. That is what the majoritarian system says. So in Kenya, as long as you know that in our place our mothers have worked very hard and therefore we are many, and you look at the other side where mothers have also done a good job and they are many, you don't care about the other smaller ones. And why should you? Because you just need 50 and then you add 1. So if I can go to one region and get 30% of the population just by going to the leaders of that region, and go to another and get 20, why should I bother the small tribes? So the problem is not because IEBC has an inherent problem. The problem is because the ecosystem within which IEBC is operating is faulty. Why don't we try the party list system of election, where you have an election system that provides that we will vote on the basis of parties. For example, Party X will present the list of their leaders in order of priority and the party. Party X, Party Y, and so forth. So when we go to the elections, you are looking at the party, number one. When you elect that party, if in the election the party gets 40% of the votes, it takes 40% of government. If another party gets 20%, it takes 20% of government. Therefore, this mad rush for numbers in particular communities will dissipate. Number two, because there is a list of the leaders of Party X, we will solve the problem of the gender parity that we're struggling with. We are unable to solve it. Because the citizen will look at the party which has complied with the two-thirds gender rule, PWD, marginalized, and even know who will become the minister if that party wins. That way also, you are sure that by casting your vote, you are casting to the right party. The majoritarian system...
Nominee, it's a good proposal.
Yeah.
And for purposes, you are aware that will require a constitutional amendment.
Yes. Because the question, this issue of trust deficit has been an anathema in this country. And I wasn't following what others have been asked, but I guess they also must have been asked trust deficit. So there are many angles to the trust deficit. What I'm proposing is just one way of looking at it, but there are many others. Okay, we also have not behaved well as Kenyans. It is possible that things have not been right at one time. But it is not a question you can answer in one straight answer in this kind of session, Honorable Makali.
So in your view is the ecosystem which...
Correct.
Okay.
It is the political ecosystem that we have to reconfigure.
So Chair, sorry, then if you become a commissioner, there's nothing you can do about it.
Honorable Daoud, every great thing has happened in life has begun by talking. By talking, by presenting these views, I'm encouraging a discussion around it. This will not be for IEBC. This is a national conversation that we would like one time somebody would run with it. It is not that I'll do nothing. Of course, as an IEBC commissioner, you can only recommend. That's why you have been put there. Look at the flash points. Give recommendations to parliamentarians because they are the ones who represent the people of Kenya. IEBC is a state organ. But the people who represent the citizens and the voters of this country are these ladies and gentlemen here who will then be tasked with this conversation.
Thank you. Is that the last question?
Yeah, this is, this was from the Honorable Makali. There's the Honorable Mutuse, again my senior brother.
Delimitation, please.
Oh, delimitation.
Yeah.
Look, if, inshallah, we get this exercise through before we are time barred, then something will be done. But I'm aware that there is active litigation out there. So we are not sure what time this may be settled. If we go beyond, because the Constitution says that if we are going to do the boundary delimitation, 12 months must be clear before the implementation. Anything beyond that, it will not work. So it all, my brother, Honorable Makali, it depends on how soon this process will end. If not, we go into a constitutional spin and crisis.
Right. Thank you very much. Is there any other question?
Yes, there is Honorable Makali. Thank you.
Now, Honorable Mutuse.
Honorable Mutuse, the IEBC staff commissioners have been accused of bias. There is a procurement that has, it's said, it is many times inflated. My senior brother, this country sometimes is hard. It is not easy to say whether indeed those brothers and sisters of ours in the IEBC in the past have been biased. Because what does Article 50 say? The right to fair hearing. Until somebody is adjudged to have been biased, from where I sit as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, it will not be right for me to say they have been. However, in Kenya we have perceptions and gossips many times rules in this country. So if you allow me to digress a bit and say that if that is the gossip and procurements have been inflated, it is all about the human nature. The laws are there, you have to do what's right. You're sitting in that chair, you know what to do, you have to do it right. If something happens to you and you decide to do what you want, how will we deal with you? It is the law that will deal with you. And that is why some sages have said that sometimes there are no more devils in hell. They're all here. And one would be tempted to think they're all in Kenya. Because if you have the rules in front of you, that are the procurement rules, the best you can do is to go by them. And if you have a problem going by them, refer to the appointing authority. But I know that there have been problems, and some of them are human problems, some of them are ecosystem problems, like I've said to my brother, Honorable Makali. What if the leader of ANC, we do not have ANC now, but what if members of the ANC participate in elections, say go for presidency, would my presence here be deemed to impact negatively or positively? Look, Alutalala Mukwana cannot be the commission. There is collegiality in the commission, and decisions of the commission are made at the plenary. In any case, If at one point I should encounter a situation where I feel I'm seriously conflicted as not to render my constitutional duty as a commissioner of IEBC, if I'm favored by these honorable committee members, then I declare conflict and let the decision be made by others. How may I seal corruption? Again, the ecosystem. It is not a story that can be told now before these honorable and distinguished members of JLAC. It is a story that requires a national conversation. The other day somebody asked, why do you say our police officers are corrupt? Do they pick the money from your pocket? It looked crude, but there was a point there that it takes two to tangle. So why is it that we have succumbed? We will say, if you don't do, you're in more trouble. But you can also say, you would rather get into trouble, but right the wrong. It is a difficult conversation. This forum today cannot answer all that. Thank you. Finally, Honorable.
Yes. Finally, let him do finally then. Just interjections.
Just to help you on that question, I think you answered my second question. On the first question, just answer it by indicating the date of your admission. That's all you need to indicate.
The date of my admission is 2014. That is when I got the admission. It is in my record, the admission certificate.
All right, thank you.
So
Honorable Mogaka?
Yes. Chair, I wanted, as he concludes response to the Vice Chair's remarks, my concern is, and I admire the strong opinion about the ecosystem of our electoral system. My question is, given, rather, in the event we have an overload of lawyers in the commission, is the country risking divergence opinion and lack of consensus, and therefore a worse than a 2022 situation?
Honorable, thank you.
All right, conclude with those remarks.
Yes.
On the finally and
when I was looking,
sincerely,
when I was looking,
we were warned, and we are worried about the warning. You are going to preside over that. What is your answer to what yes, it's just asked?
So they seem to be two different ones. He's asking about too much concentration of lawyers in IBC. Did I get it right?
Yes, I say in the event we have an overload of lawyers in the commission with as a strong opinions and observations like yours on the ecosystem and everything else, will the country not land in a worse situation than 2022, where commissioners are singing a discordant band?
Look, it is important to have a position in life, but it is equally important to appreciate positions of others. If you do that, there can be no issue of overload. I was just looking at some of your introductions and noticed there are almost 5 lawyers in this committee. And I wonder whether there has been an overload here compared to your numbers. Oh, they are actually all lawyers. Thank you. So, Council, I do not think that really is a problem as long as there's...
This is the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. He's talking about IEBC.
Yes, but Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, the issues they handle are not just about the law. I've looked at what you handle. It's beyond the law. So basically, you...
Chair, we have not heard discordance from JLAC, but we have heard it from IEBC before. And that is why I'm asking. And it is a very serious issue to Kenyans, because in the absence of agreement on what the results from IEBC is, where do we leave this country?
Chairman, thank you very much, Honorable Mogaka. Just for laughs, luckily the split screen did not involve at least one side, the lead of the other side. I don't think that was Council, was she? I don't think she was. And so it is safe to have councils around. After all, IBC many times is on a legal drip. Many times.
All your questions, I think you have.
Thank you very much.
All right, the final questions from the committee.
Yes.
Now, these are routine questions on chapter 6, so that we confirm that you're suitable. Number 1, have you been convicted of any criminal criminal offense in your past?
Like, no.
No. And number 2, have you been named as having contravened Chapter 6 of the Constitution on ethics? Number 3, which conflict of interest do you have with Iebc? Or are you likely to have any? That which comes into your knowledge?
None to my knowledge presently. Lakini ya kesho ni ya Mwenyezi Mungu. If it does occur, there is the law.
There is the law which will dictate what you're going to do.
I'm supposed to do. Yes.
All right. Pro bono work? Do you do pro bono work?
Yes. I do a lot. The Honorable Makali talked about my TV. I do a lot of civic education.
Civic education.
Both on international media, TV, radio. But I've gone to the villages in vernacular stations, and I do a lot of pro bono civic education on the rights of your rights of arrested persons. What do you do when you have a dispute of land?
Okay.
And I'm huge on that one.
Very good.
Thank you.
Finally, we've heard of the corruption in Iebc. We are all alive to it, and you must be cautious so that we monitor how you're going to progress.
Yes.
What is your net worth?
Chairman, that is a question I struggled with when I was asked, because I didn't think I'm worth to be assessed in terms of net worth. But then I took everything that I have, and I'm worth 55,230,000.
55,230,000.
Yeah, and I must say this is family.
It's family.
Yes.
Me and my wife. You and your wife.
Yes.
Right. What is your current income?
Well,
what is your current source of income?
Practice.
Practice of law.
Yes, sir.
Any anticipated sources of income in the near future? Apart from, of course, as an advocate, we know of pending bills.
No, yes,
we're pending fee notes that have to be paid.
Yes, yeah,
all right,
yeah.
So that must be taken into account. Yes. Thank you so much. Moses, thank you for appearing before us. We conclude the session with you now. Release you to go. You get your original documents back. We aren't giving you our verdict now. As you know, we must report to the House, and the House is going to take the decision itself.
Yes.
Thank you very much for appearing before us.
Honorable Chair, allow me to thank you once again for your time and for the privilege of your audience. Asante sana.
All right. I presume the candidate nominee before the committee, without any hindsight, absolutely, is Mary Karen Sorobit. Confirm? Good.
My name is Mary Karen Sorobit, Chair and members of the JLAC. Thank you.
Thank you. And she was born Mary Karen Keegan. Makali will confirm that. Welcome, Mary Karen. Justice and Legal Affairs Committee.
Thank you.
They're here to vet you, and vetting involves two things under the Public Appointments Approvals Act: confirm your suitability and the process through which you were appointed. So we aren't doing an examination per se. That's why we'll ask you routine questions. So what we do is we'll introduce ourselves, after which, after introduction, you'll also introduce yourself. You take an oath first. We administer you an oath. Then you take your oath. We give you 10 minutes or less. In fact, 10 minutes. You tell us who you are, from birth to where you are today. After that, we will have questions fielded by members to clarify on the process by which you are nominated and why you are or you are not suitable to take up this position. So with those many remarks, I introduce myself, George Kitonga Murugara, Member of Parliament for Tharaka Constituency. I'm the Chairman, Justice and Legal Affairs Committee.
Mwengi Mutuse, MP Kibwezi West, Vice Chair.
Zuleka Harun, nominated member and a member of this committee.
I am Michael Mushira, MP Orojororok, member.
Farah Maalim, MP Dadaab.
Adam Daud, Moje East.
Kali, Member of Parliament for Kandui constituency, member of this committee. Chair, I must at this stage declare that I know Mary Karen. She was known as Mary Karen Kigen. We shared the same class at the University of Nairobi, same lecture hall. Thank you, but that does not put me in any position of
Thank
conflict.
you. At least that disclaimer is important. Mushangi?
But the chair also talked about the same name, so, and you didn't declare anything, so can we hear you also?
Because I should, apart from knowing her when she came to the university as a young girl when I was possibly in third year, that's really I knew the name. We didn't share a class. But she must have participated in electing me to be the chairman of the Kenya Law Student Society. Thank you. Let's move on. Mushangi?
Thank you, Chair. My name is Mushangi Karemba, Member of Parliament for Runyenjes constituency and a member of this committee.
Otiende Amolo, member for Arieda. We shared the same year, but not the class.
That is very true. She must have been, were you A-level?
Yeah, I was in the A-level group,
A-level
and
group, and he was in
Amolo Tiende was in the
844. Good. Senior Mogaka.
Chair, my name is Stephen Mogaka, elected by West Mugrango constituency in Nyamira. I've shared nothing with the nominee.
That's a very good disclosure, which discloses nothing. They share the profession apart from meeting in the courts and everything else. That is the sharing we have. Thank you so much. Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Peter Chamana. I'm Director, Departmental Committees. And on my left are members of the Secretariat for the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. And they consist of committee clerks, legal counsel, research officers, and other administrative officers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Mary Karen, we will now administer an oath to you. You profess your faith, and then we are able to swear you.
I, Mary Karen Kigen Sorobit, do swear that the information I shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Oh, thank you. All right. So, Mary Karen, now take us through the journey of your life. I mean, from which village, all the way we saw you in the university, past the university, all the way up to where you are today, appearing before us for vetting, as it is popularly known, so that we can confirm whether you're suitable or not suitable to become a commissioner of IEBC. 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee. It's a privilege appearing before this committee. I know it's not a right, and I want to sincerely thank you, and also thank you for the good work that you're doing for Kenya. On the onset, I submit myself 100% to the jurisdiction of this committee. My name is Mary Karen Kigen Sorobit. I was born Kigen, the way the chair has informed. Sorobit is my husband, so that is the acquired name. I was born in Uasin Gishu County 56 years ago. I went to the local primary school, did A-levels in 1989. And on 27th day of January 1990, I joined the University of Nairobi for a Bachelor's of Law degree as the last group of A-levels. I went to law school, we finished in 1993, but we could not go to law school in 1994 because there were some technicalities, a group of that we follow, the class in between. So I joined the law school in 1995. We did exams in October, and then I was gazetted in December, and I signed the roll of 11th day of January 1996. So I have served or practiced law for 29 years as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I'm also a CPAK, a Certified Public Secretary of Kenya. Chair, from the time I left the university, I started practice. I practiced law locally in the firm of Kibet and Company Advocates. I moved to corporate in Eldoret. They call it the Bullet Factory, but it's Kenya Ordnance Factories Corporation, where I started as a legal officer but left as a corporation secretary. That is when I learned working with the military and working with the military position. I came back to Nairobi in 2003 when I got married, and I started working in the firm of Robson Harris. Shortly thereafter, I moved to the Law Society of Kenya as the Deputy CEO, head of compliance and ethics, and most importantly, the secretary to the Advocates Disciplinary Committee, wherein the disciplinary providing the secretariat services. And I worked there, then moved to, there was a new transitional commission, that is Judges and Magistrate Vetting Board, whereby I moved there as an assisting counsel. From prosecuting my colleagues or being in charge of my colleagues' lawyers, I moved in now to deal with the judges and magistrate as an assisting counsel. Same things that I was doing in LSK, but now in charge as judges. Then from there, when it ended, I'll come back to that one. I went to Jubilee Party of Kenya, and I want to declare that I was not a member of the Governing Council of Jubilee Party of Kenya. I went there as a member of the Secretariat, where I was the Deputy CEO and Head of Compliance and Ethics. It is from the Jubilee Constitution, it is only the ED who is member of the Governing Council. So that was our boss. I worked there in Jubilee Party of Kenya until 2021 when I moved back to practice. In between, I've had some tour of duties. I was in the board of Kenya National Highways, in Kenya National Highways Authority, that's Kenya, for a period of 6 years, representing the Law Society of Kenya. I was a nominee of the Law Society of Kenya, whereby I was also the chair of Audit Governance and Risk Committee for a period of 6 years, where I discharged my duties. And I was also a member of the Iebc selection panel, that is in 2017, one of the former commissioners. Currently I'm in practice. I think in short, that is given the time, yes.
Thank you very much. I think that cuts it. You've been all over. You've done everything with everybody. Now these members have a few questions to ask you. And who starts? Honorable Dawood.
Chair, thank you very much. The nominee said that she was a Deputy Executive Director for Jubilee Party. I am actually a member of Jubilee Party. I've been elected through that party. Madam Sorobit, if you look at Article 88, I know you kind of answered it, but I have to ask the question. Article 88 of our Constitution, 88, 2A, Roman numeral 2, says that a person is not eligible for appointment as a member of the Commission if the person is a member of a governing body of a political party. You reference the Jubilee Constitution, which unfortunately none of us has. We will look at it much later, but right now we don't have it. Now I want, if you are familiar with that Constitution, were you, as a Deputy Executive Director of Jubilee, were you a member of Jubilee's Governing Council?
Out of that, anybody else who has a question? Honorable Farah?
Madam Surabit, I have gone through your CV, which clearly is extremely impressive, very, very impressive. And I must congratulate you for all this you've gone through. And you have conducted elections many times at the party level, as well as at the LSK level. It's my presumption that if everybody, you have luck or the chance of becoming a member of this commission, you will bring a lot of what you call of that knowledge that you have into practice. In your own opinion, when you look back at this, because you've also been in the political environment, when you look back in our own electoral process in this country, in a nutshell, what exactly ailed us? Because from 1992, when I first came to Parliament myself, and most of your colleagues here were either in the university or there were some of them in primary school, and a friend of mine here was a teacher. We have had a post-election violence in each and every one of them, except the one of 2002. In your opinion, what is that line or thread that goes through all this, and how, in your opinion, will your presence in the IEBC, how will that be resolved in your opinion? Thank you.
Anybody else who has something? Or let her be answering that as members in glimpse through the paperwork. Then we can ask as many. But most important, point out to us, what is that niche, the great experience you're taking to IEBC, which in your view will make a difference in respect of the commission, totally different from what it has been before?
One so that
yes, we may, so that
only one very simple question. Mary Karen, you said you were in the Secretariat of Jubilee. Will you assure us that you would not be biased if Jubilee, and we understand Jubilee has a presidential candidate, if Jubilee presents a presidential candidate?
Thank you, Chair and members of this committee. The first question is, as a Deputy Executive Director, where I was a member of Jubilee Party governing body. I wish to state categorically that I was not a member of Jubilee governing body. There was somebody filed a petition in regard to this one, and the law, if you look at Political Parties Act, when any political party is formed, each and every political party must file with the Registrar of Political Parties all the members of their governing body at any given time. In case of any changes, and when they are filed there, the Registrar of Political Parties will have to gazette them in Kenya Gazette, who are the members of the governing body. And in case of any amendment, also the political party has to notify the registrar, and the registrar will in return gazette the new members of the governing body. Chair and members of this committee, I wish to state that our records of Jubilee Party from inception to date, and I was actually given and submitted, and I filed an affidavit with this committee attaching the letter from my lawyer, who are called Nyanga Mugisha, who are requesting for the records, for the details, and also the response from the Registrar of Political Parties, which entails who are the original members of the governing body, including the CEO, and then in the second amendment, the current, because I requested from inception to date. And I wish...
Could we have that affidavit that she's referring to?
It's part of material. Please point it out. No, I saw it. I actually saw it. I saw it with no, I saw it. I saw it with the letter. No, I saw it. I must confess. I don't know how I saw it, but with the letter at the back detailing that. No, not somewhere else. Just here. But remember, I also saw the petition. I may not have seen the response, but I remember seeing this. Yes. You have it now.
I want to state that I received the invite together with the allegations or the petition against me on the day before yesterday around 8 p.m. So yesterday morning now is when I did the affidavit and submitted here in the afternoon. That is the best I could do. So I have attached the details showing clearly the initial one, and then when the Jubilee did changes, they were also gazetted, and the current. And you can see on the table there is the list of who was the initial ED and the current ED, including the gazette number of the gazette notice. And I want to state clearly that my name is not there as an executive director. So I want to state and may it go on record that I was a technical staff of Jubilee Party of Kenya. Chair, allow me to tackle that with the question of my colleague Otiena Amolo, because it is counter-related, so that I don't come there. I want to say that I'm no longer a member of Jubilee Party of Kenya. May it go on record. So I will not even be biased on in favor of Jubilee. And even if...
Are you a member of any other party then?
Yes. I'm the member of UDA.
You are a member to UDA.